Welcome to Helicopter Explainer, where we are dealing with the question about alimony, that's maintenance. In a divorce proceeding or in a separation proceeding, a husband and wife, there is what is called alimony. That once you divorce a woman, you are supposed to maintain her. That is the question. Is our husband supposed to maintain the wife after he has divorced her? Maintenance is in terms of paying for her rent, paying for her medication, paying for her clothing and jewelry and wardrobe, and also paying for her accommodation, that's her rent. Is it the responsibility of a man who has divorced a woman to maintain that woman? Under the Married Women's Act, which was present in this country, that was the law. Because at that time, the law said that every woman lives to be married. And once you divorce that woman, you have got to provide for her the way you provided for her when she was your wife. What then is the law as we talk today? The Constitution of Kenya has provided that all people, husband, all spouses are equal at the time of marriage, they are equal during marriage, and they are equal at the time of separation. So, if the Constitution now says that there is no inferior gender, all women and men are equal, the Employment Act provides that everybody will be paid an equal salary regardless of gender. So you are not going to say that you'll pay a woman less salary and pay a man more salary. So this is what the question is. Today, we go to a case law and look at that question. This was an appeal where in the lower court, in the magistrate's court, the woman was awarded alimony. The magistrate listened and dissolved the marriage, but awarded the woman alimony. The man was supposed to maintain his wife. The man got annoyed and appeared before the High Court. And this is the case of Republic, that is in the High Court at Kisii, Civil Appeal 221B of 2022. Justice D.K.N. Magari in December 8th, 2023, because we don't want to name the parties, made out the following findings. What did the judge say? In paragraph 9, the judge is saying alimony was no longer a reality in Kenya with the introduction of the equality clause provided under Article 45 of the Constitution that provided that parties to a marriage were entitled to equal rights at the time of the marriage, during the marriage, and at the dissolution of the marriage. Article 45 of the Constitution brings equality. There is nobody who is superior than another between a husband and a wife. All of them are equal. At the time they are marrying, during this marriage, and at the dissolution of marriage. The judge goes further. In paragraph 10, he says, the reality of the concept of alimony was that it was based on the concept that men and women were not equal. A man and a woman joined in holy matrimony and became one. That led to the men paying alimony as they slowly let go of their ex-wives. Alimony ceased on remarriage, not for any reason, but that the woman had a new man to maintain her. That was why Kenya had the Married Women Property Act of 1882, which was repealed. it was not surprising that there was no Married Men Properties Act. The judge is trying to say that there was a Married Women's Property Act of 1882, but there was no Men's Property Act. Therefore, that time, if you married a woman, you had a right mandatory by law to maintain that woman. And that maintenance only stopped after that woman, you have divorced that woman, and she has been remarried. The concept was that women could not generate anything. Women under that law then were seen as net bread eaters, and men were seen as net bread providers. That concept under Article 45 of the Constitution is dead, and that's what the judge is saying. Moves on to say, in paragraph 11, which is the last one, the concept of alimony was an anathema to equality of men and women. It portrayed women wrongfully as weak. Parties must walk out with only scars of the marriage. The appellant was not entitled to alimony, not because she did not prove, but because the concept of alimony was no longer part of the law. With the constitutional changes, the existence of alimony was repugnant to good order and equality of people in marriage before, during, and after marriage. And the judge finishes, and I repeat, none of the parties had a burden of maintaining the other. None of the parties had the burden to maintain the other. That is the law today. So if you are in a marriage and you intend to divorce, we are addressing this because we have seen an upsurge of marriages being contracted within 2 weeks. A divorce is instituted. They are called, I don't know, grave diggers or gold diggers, whatever they are. They come into the life of a man, a muzungu, somebody who has money, somebody like Bramwell who has won a betika of 10 million. Cyrus is there. He has won a jackpot. The woman comes in, marries. And after marrying, within two weeks or a month or a year, she files for divorce and goes for alimony. That I was maintained. Cyrus had bought a house in Malindi. Bramwell had bought a helicopter, so we were traveling every time to the weekend, so that must be maintained. I was given a car, I was given an Uber, so I have got to be maintained. This court helicopter today tells you there will be nothing called maintenance after you have been divorced. There can never be any burden on a man to maintain a woman he has divorced. That is what Article 45 of the Constitution is telling to you. I know it is very frustrating to our sisters who are imagining that they get into a marriage and divorce immediately and pursue to be maintained the status they were put in, so that the man continues to do that. I repeat, in the decision of the High Court decision, Civil Appeal 21B of 2022, Justice Magari J. has said that none of the parties had a burden of maintaining the other. Uko peke yako sasa. Ukiachwa, wejua umeachwa na uko peke yako. Utajilisha, utajivalisha, utajitibu, utajilipia rent, utajilipia marashi. That is the bad message from court helicopter. But that is not the message from us. That is the decision of the judge. So wake up, work, because you are an equal person in the marriage. Remember, if you want the properties of the marriage, you must contribute into that property. Directly, as we put it previously in Court Helicopter Explainer, or indirectly by providing support to your husband. That one, it's not in the divorce case. You will have to go to a case called the Division of Matrimonial Property, which we dealt with extensively. If you never got it, click, search, you'll get Court Helicopter Explainer on Division of Matrimonial Property. Enjoy your weekend, and we are happy to have you as our valued viewer in Court Helicopter. Thank you.